Hey there, everybody. My name is Derek, author and webmaster of Gematrinator.com. In this video, I'm going to touch on the numerology of the death of boxer Maria Jesus Rosa, a former European flyweight champion who recently died of cancer at age 44 on the date December 18th. And the first thing I want to point out about this death is how it's yet another death of a famous person with the name Jesus or Jesus in their name, and this being her middle name, Maria Jesus Rosa. This woman with the name Jesus in her name was born in the year 74, and this is perhaps one of the most significant numbers to the code of Gematria, the ancient language of coding numbers into words. The two primary ciphers are the English ordinal and full reduction methods, seen at the top left and in the middle. English ordinal simply numbers the alphabet 1 through 26, each letter relative to its position, whereas the reduction methods use the rules of numerology to reduce each double-digit number to a single digit. Both methods can then be reversed for complementary ciphers called reverse ordinal and reverse full reduction. But here we're just going to start with the basic alphabetic order. And in this method, the word Jesus, or the name Jesus in this case, equals 74. And in the Gospels, it said that Jesus died on the cross. And both of these words sum to 74, just like Messiah, the Bible told in parables, 74. Even the name Muhammad sums to 74. Lucifer, 74. Here we're talking about simple English gematria, and both simple and gematria sum to 74, as does English, the language that we're in, this practice of gematria, a Jewish practice, which also sums to 74. But perhaps most significantly of all, the word killing equals 74. So someone who's born in the year 74 with the name Jesus in their name, already a candidate. And let's see more about how this code operates. So she's died at the age of 44, born in the year 1974, dead in December of 2018. The word kill in the alphabetic order equals 44, and this woman died at age 44 from cancer. And here, cancer also summing to 44. Now, while I focus on the base ciphers in my work, there are a couple of other less significant ciphers, but still significant nonetheless. This one is called satanic gematria, and in this method, satanic gematria sums to 666. This method begins with the number 36 because 666 is the 36th triangular number. Well, in this method, the word kill equals 184. This language of letters and numbers coincides with dates on the calendar. And what's interesting about this is if you measure from the date of her death on the 18th to the date of her next birthday, we find it's 184 days. But as we've come to learn, it's not just their birthday that's significant. This woman, Maria Rosa Reina, born on June 20th. But if you take their full name and look at the ordinal gematria, this number can then be converted to a date. When you measure from this date to her death, we also get other significant numbers. So in this case, the date June 18th is the only one that can be written 18/6, just like her ordinal gematria. And interestingly enough, she died a span of 184 days after June 18th, the only date written 18/6, just like her name gematria. Now, when we're talking about full names, I've been pretty consistent with this. You know, when it's a full name, you take the accented or foreign characters and you don't count the gematria there. But for common names, we often do use the English characters. And, you know, this is just from a lot of research, a lot of looking at these, these various deaths. And what's so interesting about this is that the name Maria Rosa Reina equals 142, But even if you disagree about the foreign characters, the name Rosa Reina, which has none, sums to 100 in the alphabetic order. If you measure forwards 100 days from her death, you arrive at the date March 27th. Now, internationally, this date is written 27/3, and this woman's full name, Maria Jesus Rosa Reina, equals 273 in the reverse alphabetic order. And by the way, 100 days is also 14 weeks and 2 days. That was the value of Maria Rosa Reina. Now, if we instead measure backwards to the most recent date, written 27/3, again, March 27th, the date coded into her reverse gematria, we get exactly 38 weeks. And 38 is the number that we always see coded into these death rituals. Death equals 38 in the alphabetic order. The words killing and murder both sum to 38 in either of the reduction methods. This woman, who was a former flyweight champion, the word flyweight sums to 38. She died 38 days after the anniversary of her retirement. It's been 13 years since she retired. Another very significant cipher to this study is called Jewish gematria. This is the method you see on the right here. These two methods more based closely to the Hebrew gematria and Greek isopsephy charts. And the Jewish cipher is based on the ancient Latin alphabetic order. In this method, when we write out the number 13, which is considered a very unlucky number here in the West, you get this value of 347. And it's interesting because the word sacrifice in Hebrew gematria sums to 347. But not only that, 347 is the 69th prime number. Prime number relationships are of extreme importance to this study. And the number 69 is in the reduction gematria of her full name, Maria Jesus Rosa Reina. As I cover on my channel, sacrifices are often carried out in accordance with solar eclipses. The word eclipse equals 69. But also notice how eclipse equals 120 in the reverse alphabetic order. Maria Jesus Rosa Reina sums to 120, reverse reduction. So both eclipse and her full name sum to 69 and 120. The most recent total solar eclipse was still the Great American Eclipse in August of 2018. And if you measure from the anniversary of that eclipse to the date that she died, we find it was a span of 120 days, just like her name, just like the word eclipse. Remember, this woman was a 4-time holder of the flyweight championship, which gives us 120 in reduction, interestingly enough. Now, if you don't include the end date, you get the number 119. Maria Rosa was born on a date with full numerology of 119. In something called the English Kabbalah, the word eclipse also sums to 119. So it's interesting that she died 119 days, or a span of 120, after the eclipse, in light of her birth numerology and her name, both having 119 and 120. Looking again at the word sacrifice, this time in the English alphabet, this word has a Jewish gematria value of 206. And this stands out. Look at the date that Rosa was born, the 20th of June, the date written 20/6. And if you measure from the date she died, from her most recent birthday, it was exactly a span of 26 weeks. This woman was a boxer, which sums to 26 in reverse reduction. The word punch equals 26. KO sums to 26. The word punch also equals 62. This date, June 20th, her birthday, can also be written June or 6/20. And in numerology, this is like 62. So not only does she have a birthday that lines up with the Jewish gematria of sacrifice, the 20th of June, but here in America, we write it 620. Sacrifice equals 620, or 62, I should say, in reverse reduction. And in both reduction methods, sacrifice equals Rosa Reina, 4662. And if we instead measure to her next birthday, we get 6 months and 2 days. Now, that's pretty much it for the basic numerology of her death. Jumping into something I call coincidence territory. Consider that she died in the time of Saturnalia, which sums to 154. The phrase ritual sacrifice equals 154. And Saturnalia is a holiday celebrated by ritual sacrifice. But also notice how Saturnalia equals 35. And again, might be a coincidence, but her first title win came against, or came on the date March 5th, written 3/5, like Saturnalia. And the woman she beat was named Victoria Varga, which, when spelled correctly, equals 154, just like Saturnalia. Could be a coincidence, but another thing worth mentioning is that this woman's full name in Jewish gematria, actually her common name, so this is where we go with the Maria in English, you get the 477, and this is the gematria of ritual sacrifice in prime numbers, 477. Oh, and of course, what I failed to mention earlier is the 142 in the alphabetic order. This is the gematria of eclipse sacrifice, 142 in that same method. And it does appear that this woman also dead in relation to the total solar eclipse. I did not measure to next year's eclipse from her death. A span of 197 days. Eclipses often separated by the Metonic cycle, 197, 62. The Metonic cycle is a period of 19 years. 197. Could be related. One more thing I'll point out before I let this video go is the date numerology, which I did not look at yet. We mentioned how it was possibly a Saturnalia sacrifice. Saturn equals 21 in reduction. The date had 21 tiny numerology. Also, the date had a life lesson number of 41, lining up with the gematria of, again, her common name, Maria Rosa. And as far as how this could be a sacrifice when the woman had cancer, just think about everything I pointed out with these numbers in the calendar, and go back on my channel, check out all these other murder by numbers videos I've been doing recently, and you'll see much of the same. Like, there's definitely a pattern here. This is definitely what's happening. And is cancer something that can be given to somebody? I believe that could be the case. But that'll do it for this video. Thanks to everybody for watching. Keep speaking and seeking that truth. Adios.